All right, I think we're going live here. Trick or treat, everybody. It's Dragon Lizard Lord, very Tiamat Christmas. And got a couple of my childhood friends here. Got some news and got a couple John Malkovich curtains here from Aragon. First one, gonna get my buddy. This is my family, my Dragon Lizard Lord, Alpha, Tiamat, Typhon. Oh, look at that. We got Draco here too. Draco Tiamat. So I did this puppet. I also did this costume. Nice Toku dragon. And we just had our film handed in. That's the first big announcement. And I will show you. See on my shirt here, this is the first film, Dragon Lizard Lord Super Monsters. Then I did Wrath of Dragons. And upcoming, you can see the trailer right now. It's beautiful. Like the final trailer, I'm really proud of it. But this is, how good you can see that. That is the movie poster I did. We might be hiring. Oh, there's my new logo. This is about 100 pages of the next graphic novel I'm doing. Let's see if I can find. It's has to do with the movie. I wasn't able. I started the novel, then I went to the graphic novel, and the graphic novel, it was really close to the novel, and the first part's out right now. It was Tiamat Zilla versus the Kaiju Kongs. That's what my next film is inspired by. Here's a picture of the actual novel there. But yeah, we got a bunch of demolition in that film. I think I got a picture of Draco Tiamat somewhere in here. No, but this is out on Amazon right now. I'll also show you my first graphic novel, and this is a pretty rare edition because it's out of print. So I am gonna have to kind of apologize for the cover of the current one. It's got my baby Draco DeCanyon, Quetzalcoatl, Draco Quetzalcoatl, Return of the Dragon, Lord Quetzalcoatl, which is this kind of his first appearance. I was kind of cashing in on the 2012. This is full detailed, nice little bookmark. I wish I would have kept this distributor. It's really nice. It's got the black borders and everything, but the book needed one more edit. I wasn't getting paid. I thought I would do better on Amazon, and the cover on Amazon. What is it? I have because I did a bunch of covers, so I went for that one because it showed him out of the egg. This one, he's like hatching right out of the egg on the cover, so I like that. But this one, he's like got a handful of people, and he's like chucking them into his fire. It's kind of, giving me a bad rep. And I come off sometimes, out of a dragon war victorious, and I might get a little over the top. But you got to realize that all dragons are gods, and they're all dragon lizard lords. So I'm not better than any other dragon. Dragon King Chaos. I was given my crown from a couple things. Those right there, the comic books right there. That's a crown. I mean, that's a tough crown to wear. I've got other. I did the suits. Like I say, I perform as Alpha Tiamat now. I did play Omega Tiamat back in the day, and that was when I was growing up. Um, and then we did the cartoon. I animated that. I know it was on Paint, but I mean, try to get up on Paint and make a cartoon. It's not that easy. I could have did better, and you can always do better. But we're here. We're here for some crazy Christmas Tiamat Christmas, and it is nice to be able to talk about Christmas because I've always enjoyed Christmas, but when I became a dragon worshiper, it was like you gotta have, because I was raised Christian, and then my dad was Muslim, so between the two of them, that's kind of a clash in faith, and it freed me up to. It's unfortunate people get born into territories that gods are dominant in, and then you're demonized, just as the dragon has been demonized throughout history, especially by the modern gods. So it's nice to see Tiamat and the Dragon Lords come back. And Dragon Lizard Lord is really trying to, like, I name my dragons after the old dragons, the old dragon gods. But these are descendants into science fiction, and ultimately my versions. So um, let's start here, because what's going to happen is we're going to have this next Galvatron come down, and we've got the big surprise here. So I think we're gonna start with this. This was given to me by my buddy Sarah. She's a coworker, and Sarah told me her name was Beast Mode when I first met her, and I told her I was the dragon, and she did not believe me, and she challenged me to a yelling match on the floor, and I don't know how I got suckered into this, but here's the two of us yelling on the floor. And then we get pulled into the boss's office, and you don't want to yell back at the boss. That will get you fired, especially if you got a really good boss that you don't want to be yelling at. So try to think about working hard and keeping your job, and showing up to work every day, and trying to put out the best performance you can, because you're setting the dragon standard. But look at this. This is what Sarah got me, and she also helped me with a lot more, with getting the new studio for Dragon Lizard Lord, and getting onto a phone program that I could afford, which is, if you don't know about it, it's Visible, and you can get it for like $20 for $25. You'll have unlimited Wi-Fi, um, hotspot. I don't know if you can see this. This is going to be hard for me, so we're gonna lose this light here for a second, because we don't need that anyway for this. And I'm gonna go for. I haven't tried this out, but it seems like it's. There we go. Oh, that is beautiful. And this will work really good for me for a prop for a Dragon Pearl. So thanks, Sarah, and thanks for all your help to the dragon. And she actually the other day started talking to me about dragon wolves, and telling me I better watch out for the dragon wolf. And I was like, dude, that sounds like some Shrek, Dragon Donkey, Abomination. I got a little. You don't really want to tell anybody else nothing, but then I remembered Never Ending Story and Velcor. And I guess we do know a dragon wolf. So he was a really good dragon, but he had a lot of wolf traits to him, where I am of the full-fledged dragon, the dinosaurs, the lizards. Let's see if you can Yeah, so that's my little David Bowie pearl there. Um, okay, so let's start off by the monster that has. Okay, we'll go for Final Fantasy Tiamat. I don't know if you guys know about Final Fantasy Tiamat. This is Tiamat I got, I don't know, maybe 10 years ago. Let's see if we're. Hopefully, we're on here. Let's make sure. I'm not. Yeah, it looks like we're going here, dudes. Cause all right. So we're gonna show you Final Fantasy Tiamat there. It's a nice Tiamat. Then this dragon started the Reiwa series. This was Rhaego, god of the sea monsters. So that's Shinpai Hayashia's monster. He got distribution with SRS. This was made by Nick Huber. I picked this up at G Fest. I also would like to thank JD Lees for G Fest, G Fan, the Godzilla Society in North America, all of his great work. So thanks JD Lees, thanks Nick Huber, thanks SRS Cinema, Ron Bonk, Avery Guerrara. We also got Elijah Thomas. I think he's going to be doing a commentary, or maybe not a special feature on the upcoming Dragon Lizard Lord film. I do have a lot of really nice special features for you. I got a storyboard. The film was started off with a completely different script, and I mean everything changes so much in production. So here we go. This is. I'll talk a little bit about Don Glut. He was going to be an Ultraman director, producer in the 80s. When he was approaching Subaraya, he got himself a toy Ultraman for inspiration. And I've always been inspired by Godzilla. And so when Godzilla -1 came, I'm trying not to, you know, buy toys, but I got this nice Godzilla -1, and we have Godzilla -0 being released June 2nd. So yeah, my birthday is June 9th. So by then we'll have this next comic out. Hopefully we'll have hopefully the movie will be out. I don't know. That's it's out of my hands at this point. I produced it. I gave it to the distributor. Now uh, it's I'm on to the next film. I'm on the set of Dragon Lizard Lord versus Avalon. This is my Christmas vacation right now, and I've worked really hard for this stuff, and I worked really hard for this movie, and I mean I'm hurting and I'm tired, and this is something that I go, you know what, I can sit, because you're gonna see some crazy, it's gonna go down here in a second, but yeah, this has been a lot of work. So here's another one. Here's the SH Monster Arts Godzilla 2000, and yeah, I've always loved Godzilla 2000. It was so nice to see this back in the day in the theaters, and I love the design. I love his plates. This Monster Arts is um, one of my most the most detailed Godzilla 2000 I have. Probably the most detailed Godzilla I think I have. This is a Like people make stop motion with this. I'm not into. I mean, I like King Kong and Willis O'Brien and stuff like that. Ray Harryhausen, but I'm not. I don't get into like monster art stop motion. But I'm saying people do it. This is one I got at All Monsters Attack in Indianapolis. Um, and it's kind of nice to see this Godzilla 2000 going into like a fire Godzilla state, and then we get the new Godzilla, um, you know, Godzilla Fest, where he did go turn into Burning Godzilla, and I'm really concerned. I hope it's like Scarlet Godzilla, like Godzilla Earth, and he powers down, and when he powers down, then that's when he has his orange spikes. So that's gonna be nice to. I just hope they don't kill him off, and because I really love Godzilla 2000, and it was nice to see him showing some emotion with the Godzilla statue. And I think that when they started shooting the helicopters at him, I think he tried to save the statue by jumping out of the way. And you think, oh, they knocked him down. They didn't knock him down. He's trying to save that statue, and they destroyed it with the missiles. I think that's when he went into his burning state because he got pretty angry. And I guess here, let's go for this because we're gonna lose our curtain here. My Targaryen flag is gonna come down, and then you're gonna see the supreme. The this is gonna be an insane dragon, like to the point where I had to, you know, go live for an unboxing video. So this was my first Godzilla exposure, 1967, Son of Godzilla, and this would have been probably 1986. I didn't really know my dad. I met him a couple times, and like the second time I met him, um, like I got to hang out for like the weekend or something. Maybe the summer. I don't remember. Maybe he's like 3 times. But when I got to meet him, one of the earlier times, we went to, I think it was like Shopko or uh, Kmart. They had Godzilla VHS tapes on a rotation, like shelf. And he's like, dude, you can get one. And it just came down between 1974's Godzilla versus Mechagodzilla or Son of Godzilla. And I mean, I was with my dad, and it seemed like seeing Son of Godzilla. And you know what? I did. Son of Godzilla was actually my very first. There was like King Kong and Son of Godzilla when I was like a little kid, but I could hardly remember that. And then later I got to see Godzilla versus King Kong, the 1962 version. But like halfway through it, like my mom came and picked me up. It was over at my buddy's house. She had it on VHS tape. That was Tim Wolf, and he used to tell me all kinds of stories about Godzilla before I even got to meet him. And then the first time, like after, I don't know. I'm gonna get into some Godzilla stuff, but yeah, this is 1967. This is so this was like some nice inspiration. I got a little Godzilla I got way back in the day. I think I got this guy in Los Angeles at a convention. So we got all this nice stuff. So it's coming down to, we'll go because you're gonna start seeing what's going on here because this is like new stuff. I've been working all year and I haven't got to mess with some of this. This here is Attack Wing Tiamat. Now this is the Dungeons and Dragons Tiamat, and this was a tough one for me to get back. You know, I'd to really put in the hours to get that guy. All right. Um, there was a girl I worked with. Her name was Shay. She got me this legendary Godzilla back in the day. This was probably actually not back in the day. I was in the middle of production on Dragon Lizard Lord versus Gorilla Monkey King, and it was a tough. It was sometimes were really tough, So it was nice. I ended up working for her, and she got me this. I was trying to work on my film, so that was kind of nice of her to put that out. All right, this one. Okay, we'll go for these guys, and then you're gonna see what's going on. This is Draco Tiamat. This is one of my dragons, and I have a bunch of 3D prints for uh, Draco Tiamat and Alpha Tiamat Typhon, but all their hands got busted. Even this Drake, this is like one of the only sizes that got printed this big. This is my personal one. Her hands got busted. All their hands are busted. I'm working on trying to construct them with a 3D uh, gun, but you know, I'm just cleared the movie. That was super tough. Now I'm dealing with the comic. I'm dealing with the next movie. I got to take them individually, and it's something nice to be able to do. Though you go anywhere with it. So in here is Alpha Tiamat Typhon. It's my current Dragon Lizard Lord. And these were made by Carmi Palaccio. The designs. I sent her the pictures. She made the designs for these. So, and then I printed them out on the 3D printer. And yeah, I mean, I do have a bunch of them. I was gonna go into business. It's not going very well on that front. I'm actually out of product on all my books. I think I've got a couple of my Tiamat Zilla, but I changed him to Alpha Tiamat Typhon. So it's going to be kind of weird when I finish the graphic novel and I change the name midway through. So I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to deal with that. Okay, so here's another thing I got. When you got Christmas coming up, you always got to have some chocolate covered cherries. But remember, brush your teeth, floss. Whenever you deal with sugar, that's no joke. That will send you to the dentist. That could end you, man. That's not you don't want to be taking your health, your teeth. I mean, try to be safe, be healthy, take care of your teeth. I don't know, follow your dreams. Okay, here we go. We'll go here a little bit of product placement. Dragon Lizard Lord water bottle. I'm getting thirsty. I need to stay hydrated. So, all right. Got Tiamat right up on here. Quetzalcoatl, Nedhog, Dragon Lizard Lord Super Monsters. This is like stainless steel. This is a solid water bottle. This will keep your drink cold. You can get these at srscinemastore.com. Hit up Dragon Lizard Lord. I got all kinds of products up on there, plus my first 2 movies. My 3rd movie's on the way. My 4th movie's on the way. My fifth movie's on the way. My sixth movie's on my. You know what I'm saying? It's on. I got Alpha Tiamat Typhon. I got costumes for my next movie. I just paid them off. I just paid off this monstrosity. We'll just go ahead and show you what we're dealing with right here, because this is going to be a situation. Boom. Okay. Well, the Targaryen dragon saved you from one more dragon attack. Rhaegar, God of Monsters. Also a Nick Huber production, Shinpai Hashiya. And Shinpai, like I said, single-handedly charged, bringing in the Reiwa era with kaiju. Over to America, got his deal with SRS Cinema. Now SRS is bringing in kaiju. And here in America, I'm the next American dragon. We had Zarkor back in the day. Uktena Horn Monstrosity came out of Colorado. Dragon Lizard Lord is standing strong forever. I'm going to be bringing out movies. I hopefully faster. I do have costumes for my next fights. That's a different deal. That's a different deal. I don't know. That's kind of spoiler territory on top of it. So we'll get God Rhaegar over here. Oh, look at all these beautiful dragons. Nice little dragon shrine. Tokusatsu dragons. Tiamat dragons. And I usually put my Final Fantasy Tiamat on top of my Dungeons and Dragons Tiamat. And here we go. This is the final. This is Godzilla vs. Biollante, 1989. Bam! Given to me by John DeSantis, the composer. But I did piss him off because we were supposed to go see Shizuke Kaneko in New York. I didn't make it. I called John. I did call. I left a message. He didn't get the message till later. It was his birthday. This dude is still pissed off at me to this day. He sent me this solid Bandai Godzilla because he liked Alpha Tiamat a lot back in the day, to the point where he made his own kaiju suit, and I tried to direct him with all of my secrets that I learned from years of making kaiju suits. So I don't know if you can see what this is right now. This has been a dragon that has been looking at me through this window for like a month that I haven't been, because I've been working on my movie and I've been working at the job, so I haven't been able to unbox this. And then also, I don't know if you know what this is. Bam. Godzilla and the Ninja Turtles crossover. The Godzuki variant cover by Matt Frank. Unfortunately, I hate to say this comic book isn't like that. This 1979 Godzilla is only on the cover. The Godzilla involved looks something like a Heisei Godzilla. Looks like he's like more like a legendary type though, where he's born that way. That's his, you know what I mean? He's dealing with the Foot Clan. It's I wish we could have this. And then what's up? Where is Gamera? I want to see this Godzilla with Gamera and the Ninja Turtles. That's a comic book I want to see. I would make a fan comic if I could, but I can't, dude. I'm working on my own comics. I'm working on my own movies. every step of these films, I have to be involved in. I had 2 other units. One of them brought me humans, so they pretty much cleared my entire humans, except for me and Space Trucker and Shay Berninsky. Hopefully, sorry, Shay. But other than that, all my humans were given to me by Daniel Stone and his American crew, and that was awesome. So thank you, Daniel. All your crew did phenomenal. This movie rules. We had another crew out of London, and that was led by Ash Dakor Lizarak. Sorry if I'm screwing up you guys' last names here. When people do it to me, I'm not that offended. I do it too. But Ash Dakor, he was in Super Monsters, and that was solid. His performance and all the people that he brought onto the production, and so I was kind of waiting on getting my audio done, and that was kind of tough. So now that we're this far, so I got this from one of my buddies. This is the Heat Ray Godzilla, legendary. So I got it. I never opened it. So I guess don't be you probably don't be busting out a razor on it. You might hurt yourself. That could have been bad. That's my box cutting razor for making buildings. All right. So this is one of my favorite Godzillas. I really love legendary Godzilla. And here's a big news update. Space Godzilla confirmed. That's right, folks. We're going to be dealing with Space Godzilla. And I hope they bring back Tiamat. Because they really disappointed me in that last film with the way they treated her. When she is the true queen of the monsters, and they call Mothra the queen of the monsters. With Mothra's the queen of the monsters. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to defy Mothra, but you got to recognize Tiamat. But Tiamat is really the dragon queen. And she's not really, she's just, it's like dragons are kaiju, but not all kaiju are dragons. So Mothra, being the queen of the monsters, she could very well be the queen of the monsters. Tiamat is the queen of dragons. And I'm dealing with my dragons. We're dealing with like this. This is actually a male. This is a generation of Tiamat, probably 4th generation. This is. We'll get into lineage and all that in other videos. Okay, so let's start with the Raphael Rodan. This is. Everybody's got an aspect of the turtles to him. Raphael is more of kind of he's more defiant, and he's not the leader, but at times he is. They even credited him to being the leader and you might have to, because they got that all taped up. I'm not trying to ruin this box either. I think I'm already starting to. But Raphael is he's got the size, he's got the jokes, he's he's rude, and he is kind of does his own thing when it comes down to it. And that's kind of like Rodan. Rodan has fought Godzilla. I kind of wonder what's up with the combo, and then I think we're gonna find out in the comic book because they had some mutagen that they put with. Okay, this is some spoiler stuff, so sorry. I'm just saying they got Godzilla in the Ninja Turtles universe. I don't want to say anymore. I think I got a scissors to deal with this. It's probably what you want is a scissors. You don't want to really be coming at it with a razor blade. That'll get you hurt. Godzilla's heat ray just went AWOL. We're gonna put it over there. But yeah, this is really nice. I get a day off finally from, because most of the time, I do remember a while back, they had the Ultra Monster, what was it, Monster Rancher. That Christmas, I got a Wii and I got that game. And I tried to take some time playing Zelda, getting the no, I'm not Switch, not Wii. You know what I'm saying? So I'm an old school gamer. I'm from video games from consoles. Gotta watch out, man. They really got this guy. I don't know. Maybe there's a better way. Okay, so you're gonna want to go from behind and not damage your. That's kind of. Yeah, so you're gonna definitely want to go from behind the plastic here. These are kind of hard to find. Maybe not anymore. I don't know. When I was looking for them, first one I got was Mikey, so I should have opened him first, but he wasn't. And I got to try to show Raph a little bit of love here because I'm really more of a Leonardo Michelangelo kind of guy, but we all got, like I'm saying, we all got the turtles. Raphael's definitely a growing part, and that's you gotta try to watch out so you don't get into trouble, getting into fights and stuff. So, and I'm gonna leave this size for later. Doing this video. Okay, so Leonardo, this is the leader of the turtles. Leonardo Godzilla. Godzilla is the king of the monsters. Yeah, I gotta love it. So this was really hard for me to find. I had to actually order this one. So good luck on finding this guy. Alright. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what this dude looks like outside of the box. I've had him since Halloween, and I've just been working non-stop on my film. We got through filming, springtime, and then I went into full on post production, and so I haven't had much time to even work on the comic book. But when the turtles crossed over with Godzilla, I remember one of the last times I talked to my dad, he goes, "Man, I remember when you were a kid, you really liked the Ninja Turtles, even before you liked Godzilla." I don't know about all that because I was watching Godzilla and King Kong before the Turtles were around. But they are definitely big on raising me, and you know, definitely I try to do my ninja training. You know, um, seeing the Turtles and Godzilla crossover. I go to the comic book shop every week, and you can go to your comic book shop and tell them, hey, hopefully if your dudes are cool, they'll give you a subscription. So they're gonna hold all your Godzilla comics, all your Ninja Turtle comics. So when this happened, I was like, man, that's awesome. I and then Godzilla crossed over with Sonic the Hedgehog. So that's what I've been doing today. I've been trying to get I got a day off here. It's Christmas time. I'm trying to just catch my breath. Uh-oh. All right. So this is a shell. It's like got a Godzilla turtle. It's kind of, but like I said, with the mutagen and the Godzilla being in the crossover, you can only imagine. Especially if you haven't read the first, because that's all that's out right now. So I don't know nothing past the first issue. I'm waiting on that one. But I'm behind on my comic books, and that's another thing. You know, getting to catch up on your comic books and all your novels. Movies, I was going to have, what do we have? Ace, Ace Den Chaos. That's the latest SRS Cinema film. I've been watching the special features. We got Elijah Thomas on there, so that was pretty cool. And he informs us that Ace Den Chaos, or one of the aces, fought against Gulala Monster X. I did not know that. I need that. I thought he only has 2 movies. I thought, and finding that he went up against Ace, and then Ace signed with SRS, and Dragon Lizard Lord signed with the SRS. It's like kind of like in a roundabout way. It's. I mean, there's so many great people and productions and kaiju that are with SRS Cinema. You really need to just hit them up. You get through your Godzilla, you get through your Gamera. Getting through Ultraman did good there. He's still kicking it out. You got to give Tsuburaya a lot of props. I mean, that's insane. Not only did he basically create Tokusatsu, he's the father of Godzilla. He created Ultraman. So I wasn't in talks. I met their Yoshi Sensei, their manager of foreign affairs. I was in talks. I really want to see Alpha Tiamat Typhon team up with Gyrus. That would be awesome. I don't know. I might upset him with that talk. I also told him that Dragon Lizard Lord cannot be. I'll accept defeat. There's conditions where I can be defeated. You're not killing off Dragon Lizard Lord though. Alpha Tiamat Typhon's not going down, and that brings me to the next point. Let's get through the Michelangelo deal. We're running out of space on the Dragon Shrine here, so we got the Leonardo Godzilla, And let's take the god Rhaego and give him flight status, even though he is a sea monster. Those are fins, not wings. And oh, here's the party dude, Michelangelo. This is my guy from when I was a kid. I grew into Leonardo, and Raphael kind of merges when you got to deal with the confrontation or if people are trying to push you around. But you really got to try to be professional in all your actions. So um, you can't be, uh, you know, can't be raging unless you're in the costume and you're in the middle of the city, and then it's on because I am about ready to bust a lot more cities. I just got through taking out the entire modern world basically in my last film, and in my next film, I don't want to give you too much, but I'm going to tell you it's definitely a prequel. It's Dragon Lizard Lord versus Avalon and the Lost Kingdoms. So I'm going to be fighting a lot of kaiju, and there's a lot of stuff in the movie that I just did, Dragon Lizard Lord versus Gorilla Monkey King, that didn't get into the film that I can do on the next one. I got a blue gorilla, Apollo, no, Poseidon, the blue gorilla, the water gorilla, because I had elemental gorillas in this last one. Okay, and here we go. Michelangelo, King Ghidorah. Now, King Ghidorah is he's like a father to me. Like Godzilla's a father to me. But King Ghidorah, there's so much. He is just a marvelous Dragon King. And this one I do have to mess with because it doesn't look like. Well, that's actually part of it. No, King Ghidorah rules. And I really wish they would be nicer to him. Like back in the Showa era, except for Destroy All Monsters, that was disappointing. He always just walked away from that. They might have figured out how to beat him, but he always came back. Nowadays, it's like everybody's trying to be a dragon slayer. They're like it's like killing off King Ghidorah, killing off Tiamat. Come on, guys. But this is Christmas, so let's focus on positive stuff. Because we got a lot of really, really positive things going on here. We got this Ninja Turtle Godzilla crossover. We got the new Dragon Lizard Lord film coming out. I got the new Dragon Lizard Lord comic coming out. I've got, like I said, I got more movies after that, after this next comic. And here's the thing is all these comics I'm doing, actually, I'm gonna mess with that. Great. All these comics I'm doing, in like the movie and the novel, at first I go, well, none of this is gonna change. I'm gonna keep it all true to the source material. I can't even find my scissors. I don't know what I said. All right, we're going to. Don't try this at home because I lost my scissors. But I really did try to keep it with source material. It changed a little bit in the comic book. Not a whole lot. I went through paragraph by paragraph on the novel with a highlighter, like the Bible. You know what I mean? You see these people going to Bible study with their highlighter. That's what I did to my book. But I didn't highlight one. By the time I got through with it, the entire book was highlighted. That's how you know I cleared the paragraph onto the comic book. Penciling it. Then I started inking it. And I got through 2020. I said the entire 300-page run would be inked. Had 150 pages done. So published that as part 1. Bam. Tiamatzilla versus the Kaiju Kongs. Released that in 2020. I thought this film would be done. After that, it has just been overdrive every year. No holidays. Do what you gotta do to get your movie done, dude. So I did. A lot of that time I was working. Driving an hour to work. One way. Work all day, go home. Now it's time to, now it's time to throw down on the movie. Couple years, mandatory overtime on Saturdays. They don't care about the snowstorm living in Wisconsin. And that's how I lost that job. But sometimes the job gets to the point where it's a good job to lose. Luckily now I got a job where I'm really trying to keep. So I'm working towards that. I'm actually leading the team in production. And my boss actually voiced Commander Cody, the leader of the army of the world in Dragon Lizard Lord versus Gorilla Monkey King. But being my boss at work, he's got to deal with, I am the best employee you're going to have. It's very easy to be my boss. I'm not going to give you any trouble. To the point where sometimes I try to handle things on my own, and I might, if I don't have, I don't know, maybe I screw things up just like everybody else. So that's when you got the army coming down on you. You just burnt down some helicopters. They're not happy about that. You got to destroy Paris too, and like every other country to defeat the ongoing menace of the greater looming kaiju that will either A, just kill everybody, or B, destroy the entire planet, or C, let's rip down, they will tear down the solar system. How does this even work, man? They'll go worse than that. They'll consume the entire. Let's get to a point where you have. Let's take Tiamat for example. What are the limits to Tiamat's power? This is not an instructional video on how to get Michelangelo's tails on, I guess. Okay, you have to be very careful, use brute strength. What are the limits to Tiamat's power? She has no limits. What are the limits to Tiamat? There are none. She sets the bar. She is the limit. She is everything. Okay, Tiamat, the first dragon, the first god, the mother of gods, the mother of dragons, the queen of dragons. Look at this Michelangelo, and we have King Ghidorah teamed up with Michelangelo. That is just awesome. That is because turtles are dragons too, and turtles actually they did have a dragon. Oh, we got to get his wings on. They did have a dragon morph. What was it? The 2002 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles season 7. I do believe it was called the Tribunal, the Dragon Tribunal, the Turtle Tribunal. They went to Japan. I'm watching this, right? No way. I'm expecting them to become freaking. Their training is to become dragon morphs. That was phenomenal. So we got King Michelangelo Ghidorah. Got his wings on. Oh man, no, his tail fell off. No, so maybe, okay, that's back on. So we're going to try to safely get him to the Dragon Shrine. And the Dragon Shrine is overfloweth with mighty dragon gods, statues of our dragon lords, our fathers, Mother Tiamat, the future generation of the dragons. And of course, we got Dragon Lizard Lord Supreme sitting right here. And he's like, hey, let's get to the main event. How do we do that? So we're gonna have to move the 89 Heisei Godzilla. I did meet Ken Satsuma, and it was just a tragedy that we don't have him with us anymore. And it was a little spooky. They based Godzilla -1 off of him, and then he passed away that year. Same thing happened to Nakajima. I'm not stoked about seeing my dragons become CGI monsters. I don't do CGI. I do suitmation all the way. Never gonna stop. Never going to AI. It's life versus artificial life. Never surrender. Pretty soon it's gonna be Terminator City. Dragon Lizard Lord ain't dealing with that. Okay, so we just got through Ninja Turtles and Godzilla. All right. I'm going to share a little fortune with you real quick. I got to hit some water. Remember, stay hydrated, guys and girls. Everybody, stay hydrated. It's crucial to your health. Preferably in a Dragon Lizard Lord Super Monsters, and hopefully soon a Dragon Lizard Lord versus Gorilla Monkey King steel drinking bottle. All right. So here's the fortune. This is my fortune. I'm gonna share to you. Like, you won't know until you try. Okay. So don't give up now. And your future will be a canvas for your dreams to come true. So think about what you're trying to do, no matter how bad it gets, you know Tiamat's with you. The dragon has always been there. It always will be there. Real quick here. 1990 Godzilla. I thought this was 1989. Because I'm pretty sure this is the Godzilla vs. Biollante graphic novel. It is. It totally is. And I thought this came before the movie. I don't know. I thought this was the source. Okay, so my information is completely mixed up. This is a beautiful graphic novel. Okay, I love Godzilla 1989. All right, and to have this graphic novel, it's black and white, so it kind of helps me. I didn't go to college, so I try to read comic books. And Godzilla 1989 was definitely, I mean, I seen it when I was a kid, Cinemax. You got to go to your buddy's house, they'll record Godzilla 1989 hopefully for you. And then it got released. Long story short, it's still to this day, it's still one of the more pricey Godzilla films. Okay, this is the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles first couple comic books. Might be four issues here. Eastman and Laird. Still haven't gotten a second to read this. I'm working on that. Uh-oh. That sounded bad. Okay, so yeah, I think that we've unveiled that this is the grand monster Tiamat. This is the big Dungeons and Dragons Tiamat. The Super 7 Tiamat. The first dragon I ever encountered in my life, other than possibly Godzilla, was Tiamat. The 1980 cartoon, 84. So I was born in 80. This is 84. 1984 Tiamat. Strangely, this Tiamat did come out of Wisconsin. Maybe not the cartoon, but TSR, Wisconsin, Appleton, Wisconsin. When I was younger, why? I mean, we got Dragon Lizard Lord now, so, but this might have, why didn't I go to TSR, try to get a job? Because look at what we have. Horde of the Dragon Queen. Look at this. Tiamat. That's who they're talking about. Horde of the Dragon Queen. And this book is so disappointing. It's really got nothing to do with her. I mean, other than painting her up to be a freaking villain. Everybody, this is geared towards stopping to diminishing her horde and stopping her prominence, stopping her coming into the realm, taking over. They're worried about the tyranny of dragons. That I should have that book. Thought I had all this set up. Yeah, here we go. It's at the bottom of the pile, so we're getting through. That's what I'm saying. It's trick or treat. I'm busting out tricks. I got all the treats. We got the dragon, Rise of Tiamat. Said, it says the Queen of Evil Dragons. That is phenomenally insane. I think it says something worse. I think it said something like against that, because I wrote there, I don't know if you can see it. I blacked it out with black marker and I wrote Hail Tiamat in black. So it says the Queen of Evil Dragons. In my memory, I wiped out evil. So I thought it just said the Queen of Dragons. because they should not be calling her evil. That is the utmost blasphemy in the highest degree. Um, they were obviously saying worse things about her than calling her an evil dragon. That is messed up. And I guess I had notes about that. I guess that just went out the window. No, here they are. Evil, villainy. It's like me. I'm a human king type. I'm not the king of dragons. I'm a human king. I'm a dragon king appointed by the dragons for my servant, because I'm helping the dragons, because I'm a servant of the dragons, because I'm a worshiper of the dragons. They give me the power to become a dragon in my films. My crown is based upon my scales, upon my suitmation, upon my artwork. Throwing my crown at somebody else means that they would have to direct, produce, write, do all the art involved, cast everything. And that's you think casting and dealing with the people is going to be the easy part, but that's not as easy. So all these in a normal production, you got one guy to deal with all this. You even got a guy for your lighting and to make sure you're safe when you're in your suit. I got usually one guy outside. Usually I got to stick him in a suit. I'm trying to direct a movie from my suit, so I call in guys. Justin did give me good direction when I first started. It was a new kaiju to learn for me to act as, so I had to. I was the way I was standing. It looked like he was staring up into the sky, stuff like that. So I did have to call in people to direct to help me with that, but. You got to make sure everybody's kind of on the dragon's page when you're on a Dragon Lizard Lord film. A lot of times, like you look at Daenerys Targaryen, look at Maleficent. You're gonna be, and then when you come off as the ultimate Dragon King, raining fire, stomping cities. Especially you get in the music, it gets to be like a lot of like gangster rap, and it gets to have kind of like an evil, spooky, dark side to it. Evil dragons. It is a stereotype that could be possibly embraced, but not really, because the dragon, when you look at Dracula, son of the dragon, Dracula, and what did he do? Turned on the dragon for the devil. Watch Dracula Unchained. Beginning of the movie, I'm the savior of the world. I'm the dragon. End of the movie, I turn on he forsaken the dragon. He turned into a blood-sucking freaking monster, and he pledged himself to the devil. Well, and the devil that's a weird thing too, because what do? All the new gods came, and then they try to demonize Tiamat, the first god, and all of a sudden serpents and dragons are evil. The mouth of hell comes from the dragon. I'm not gonna repeat all the evil, offensive demonizations that they cast upon us, but it's like dragons are always a bad guy. Dragons are just there to get killed. This and that. It's when you go right down to it. I guess we just gotta sometimes have to deal with it in the tyranny of dragons, and I thought that this was Rise of Tyranny of Dragons. That's right. See, I think it's maybe you can see it, maybe you can't. I got crap lighting here. You guys got to give me a bit of a break, because this is my Christmas. This is my downtime. I don't get a lot of downtime. I've got just a small window, and then I got to get back into. It's going to be really crazy again. I'm starting on a new film, and I'm still trying to get my comic done. And I got more comics. That's like what I was saying. And after I get this comic, this Alpha Tiamat Typhon comic, I showed you that. Once I get that done, I am going to start a new series. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but I'm going to go issue by issue. So we're going back full color, full detail. And I've got like a lot stronger grasp on the universes, because what we're dealing with is a fraction of universes just getting. So I was talking about Tiamat and her everlasting greatness that, I mean, we can't comprehend that. But she is more than the universe. She is more than all the universes. But in my film, we deal with a monster that I don't know if he created this an alternate universe, because we're dealing with lots of universes. That's why you go to the book, you go to the comic, you go to the movie. These are all universes in the multiverse. In every parallel dimension, Dragon Lizard Lord, the dragon, will reign supreme. The details might be a little bit mixed up here and there. Some versions are going to be a lot darker. Some versions, it depends on what version of the universe, what version of everything you're dealing with. So now we get to this point. I got about 100 pages done on this comic book, inked. I got about 50 more penciled. I just got through the movie, and I've got my dragon at a point where I'm looking at him and I'm like, bro, we're kind of off the book right now. King Chaos isn't even in this. And King Chaos is a pretty big part of the movie. King Chaos was my personal character, because I wanted to give myself like a character, and like a dragon, a Ryogen. And I started a character in Super Monsters, and I played that character again in Wrath of Dragons. And this character, he ended up being I was becoming a dragon pastor, dragon minister. I try to do that in life. But there's a lot of things in life where it's like, first off, the religion of dragons is really chaos. So it's not something that you can just put an organization to. And second off, once you get the organization involved, then it's just a big money thing. And it's not like that. And then another thing is like, you get people, it's not like buy my book or you're going to hell type thing. So, I mean, by all means, buy my book. I really appreciate that for Dragon Lizard Lord and for Omar Saya, but it's not going to be reflected bad on your spirituality if you don't buy my freaking book, when the book is science fiction to begin with. So, I mean, it might have a strong basis on Dragon Lords, trying to bring them back into modern day and trying to be good with dragons, give world a good story where the dragons are the good guys and the dragons don't get killed. Give us a story where the dragons are freaking invincible. I'm sick of, I mean, you always see the dragon getting killed, this and that. Everything turns into a big tragedy. I've had enough tragedy in my life. I got Tiamat. She's absolving, dissolving, destroy. She's doing everything. Okay, I'm finding my peace in Tiamat. I'm finding my peace in Dragon Lizard Lord. Starting this film, I could hardly function. It's not like I have mental problems. I went through some stuff. I lost my lizard. I had an army of lizards adopted. I don't have any of them anymore. anymore. That was heartbreaking. It's been very difficult with trying to find a wife. So that's another tough thing to do. So you put that together, and that's not really the biggest problems a guy could have. That's normal stuff. Everybody's got to go through it. You know, best thing you can do is follow your dreams. Figure out what's in your heart. Quit looking around and trying to, whatever everybody's trying to tell you what they don't know, man. That's why I'm not trying to be a dragon minister and tell you everything, because I don't know what your life is. I know this dragon right here that we are going to check out. And before we do this, I do have to tell you just a few more things. And this is, here we go, with the trick or treat Christmas match. So I got a couple more treats and their tricks. All right, praise Tiamat. And this is a Draconomicon. I think this is one of the first Draconomicons. I don't really know if there's a whole lot about Tiamat in here. It's been a while since I checked this out. This is the metallic Draconomicon. She probably doesn't, they probably do mention her in this, but they're not going to talk about her that much. And you'll see why in just a second. I shouldn't even pull this out of the bag, because we got like a lot. Oh man, and I'm ruining this. Okay, so I'm just going to put this aside and deal with this when I got more time. Plus, it will give me a chance to refresh my memory. I've got a little bit of a vacation here I'm enjoying, so I can go through my Draconomicons. And this is the Draconomicon, the Chromium Draconomicon. This is the Book of Tiamat. This is, let's see if, because I know I had a passage I wanted to read from the Monster Manual, and I just went right past that. But I know that the Chromium Draconomicon has got to have passages with Tiamat, as she is the god of gods and the mother of dragons. And you'll know why I mean, obviously, when you get into Dungeons and Dragons, the Chromium dragons are the dragons of you've got the metal dragons, and then you got the dragons that are I don't know, like the normal color dragons. So, and I didn't see anything about her in here. Wow. Very, very quick. I thought I would find like a couple chapters, like Tiamat, Supreme Divinity, reigns forever, because she's all powerful. But let's get into this, because I had this one. This is like page 32, page 34 of this Monster Manual by Gary Gygax. And it's got a pretty nice little, I don't know, it's a little offensive. I thought I had, I don't even have a bookmark in here. I had this already. Right here. Here we go. What's that say? I don't know if you can read it, but you know what that is. There we go. That should do you solid. Chromatic dragon. And it says in parentheses Tiamat. Says Tiamat rules the first plane of the 9 hells, where she spawns all of evil dragon kind. What the fuck, dude? So, okay, first off, they're saying she rules in hell, and they're saying that all chromatic dragons are evil, which that is messed up. She hates all good as fiercely as she loves cruelty and hoards wealth. That's another just completely polar opposite lie of the truth. It should say she is all good and fiercely uh, protects all she loves, but can be, I guess she could be considered cruel when she is invoked or upset. I mean, you get on a dragon's bad side. That's not good. That's not good. She is seldom 10% outside her lair, but occasionally she comes to Earth to place a new dragon or to seek more treasure. She can travel astrally or ethereally. So that's kind of cool. Bringing dragons to Earth, seeking treasure, traveling, however the hell she feels like. I mean, that's decent speakage. Although her sheer size prevents her claw attacks, bullshit. Tiamat can bite with all five heads and sting with her tail at the same time. Now, I've never been a fan of giving her a stinger on her tail. What lizard has a stinger? Especially scorpions are like the enemies of the lizard, so not a fan of that. She can breathe one with one or more of these heads or cast spells with one or more heads at the same time. Tiamat's, then it's going to go into description, and there's a bunch of other dragons in this monster manual. Tiamat has always been there and will always be there. She is very loving, but she can be a lot less forgiving and more chaotic. Obviously, she's a chaos dragon. But chaos encompasses everything. So in her chaos, she is master of eternity. And let's get to the the main event now. This took me months to pay off. This was a very difficult decision to even make because I'm in the middle of production. I'm dealing with trying to stay afloat, and I had car problems. Everybody's got a lot of issues where it makes it so, you need to collect responsibly. Don't put yourself out there. And was I putting myself out there? Yeah. But like I said, this is the last bit of overdrive. I got a little bit more overdrive for this next year. And then I should be able to just be like getting caught up with all my bills, be super responsible, and just try to be focusing on trying to be making the next comic, the next movie, and just trying to be healthy and staying safe, and that's all. Work hard, try and take care of yourself. That's what you should be doing. That's what I need to be doing. Get your sleep. I'm at TJ Storm. I gave him a copy of my movie, Super Monsters and Wrath of Dragons. I don't know how this is gonna go. This is gonna get insane here. This is big. She's a big dragon. This is like worthy of this video. Like this is my Christmas here, dudes. I get done with unboxing this. I'm gonna play some Sonic and try to relax. Play some console games. watch some Christmas movies a little bit. Not have to worry about kicking out production numbers today. And then we also have to I don't have to worry about this film not being done. That was upsetting for years because I was doing scales. Every one of these scales. Now look, we're taking a break here. Look at this. Every one of these scales is hand sewn all over his entire body. He's got a little bit of repairs I need to do on him now. So that's basically my first step, and then finishing because I've got the back draw. Obviously, I got Maleficent looking down on the entire stage, but that's in the corner. So under her, I got stars. To the side of her, I got stars. She's obviously not going to be in any of my movies, but it's like, know that Maleficent is like overlording us. She's watching over us. Let's get to the main event here with the Ultimate Super 7 Mega Tiamat. I guess maybe I'm going to go back there. Probably need a knife. That's a bummer. Hopefully I got one within reach. Just I do not. Alright. Alright. This is gonna be crazy, man. Big Super 7 Tiamat. What's it say on there? The Queen of Evil Dragons. Come on with the blasphemy. But you got to give Dungeons and Dragons credit for bringing Tiamat into modern existence. I remember when I was a kid, I didn't know her name. In a very short time after I was watching the cartoon, somebody told my mom that Dungeons and Dragons was satanic, so she said I couldn't watch Tiamat anymore. And to this day, she's got a real problem with Tiamat. That's why I wasn't big on Christmas for a while when I started worshiping dragons, because my mom is really, she's really big into Jesus, and there's a lot of really anti-dragon. Some anti-dragon stuff in that that whole religious family they kind of get down on, because the dragons were first, and then the new human gods come through, the gods of agriculture come through, and they want to demonize the dragon so they can set up their foundation. So that's how that goes, and that's the world we're living in, and now everybody's forgotten the dragon. And these same people, they're calling Dungeons and Dragons satanic. And I'll tell you, man, the way that they're playing off dragons, Gary Gygax is dragons not being gods, dragons not being heroes, dragons being... It is a little satanic, but it's not the way that they're saying satanic. And it's not... it's like a lot of times you're going to watch a movie where the dragon's the bad guy just to see the dragon. The dragon's going to lose, and that's going to suck. But just seeing that dragon was awesome. And when you come to Dragon Lizard Lord, you don't have to deal with that, because my dragons don't fall. The dragons don't. In the War of the Super Monsters, I had dragons fighting each other, but none of them, they were just powering each other up with their attacks, basically. It's not like they were. And we got Draco Quetzalcoatl coming back. So Alpha Tiamat's going to have to deal with that. Draco Quetzalcoatl is one of my easier dragons to make, but he's still not going to be an easy dragon to make. My next film, there was a movie out of Canada, Hugo and the Dragon. And I'm trying to get Eastern Dragon representation. It's really tough for me to make dragon costumes, and I'm really trying to get this movie out within a year or two, especially since I do have all my suits, all my bad guy suits, except for my scorpion. I gotta make a scorpion. Okay, so I have. That was a bummer. I don't know. There was something going on there that had to deal with that. Snapped up and got me in the face. That's okay. Not the first time I got bit by a dragon in the face. My old boy King Louis, Alpha Tiamat Typhon, he got me in the face a couple times. Yeah, I thought he was joking. Once he starts bobbing his head, probably gonna attack. I had dragons threaten me before, and they were bullshitting. But not King Louis. He wasn't hardly ever bullshitting. All right, bam. Look at this mighty dragon. And I'm really happy her tail doesn't have a stinger on it. That's beautiful. That was my main concern. This is a huge dragon. And I guess she can stand upright. Beautiful, beautiful Tiamat. Wow. So yeah, this is the Queen of Dragons, the God of Gods, the Mother of Eternity, right here. Like I said, my Tiamat dragons, they're all descendants. This is not of the Dungeons and Dragons Tiamat, but it's nice to see Tiamats from different. I have a multiverse going on, but this is beyond my universes. But Ghostbusters had a Tiamat. Like I said, we've seen the Final Fantasy Tiamat over there. Put her down for a second. I'll get you guys a close up here. The Tiamat, and I guess that's a Merry Christmas to everybody. We've got a lot of big dragon news coming at you from Dragon Lizard Lord. Just gonna be chilling with the Dragon Queen statue and trying to get some rest before I rain fire down upon Avalon and make all the old kingdoms lost. All right, let's see how to. All right, Merry Christmas, everybody.